episode. If you listen to
Steph, sorry, start again.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Stefan DeVille, leading today's episode. If you listened to our broadcast before, our panel consists of 5 gentlemen who have been friends for over 30 years and have a wealth of experience surrounding them. We have Wayne.
You.
Chuck.
Hey.
Mike.
I'm the pappy.
And Charles.
What's up?
Today's episode will focus on the current pandemic, COVID-19, also known as the Rona in the hood. It's affecting normal life worldwide, except in New Zealand, where they have basically eliminated it. But here in the States, it's running as rampant as a leaky diaper. So we decided to title this episode Pandemic Gumbo and focus on how this illness has affected our everyday life, from sports, the resurgence of Karen and Ken's, kids at home and not in school, and even traveling beyond the country's border. So, Chuck, what do you think about Karen and Ken's acting so strange lately?
Oh man, they acting themselves. They just it's just being caught on camera nowadays. That's it. They've always been around. Now that we've got movements in place and they feel like their liberties are threatened and they being forced to wear a mask and they losing their damn minds. So I mean, Karens have always been around. These entitled people. I'm stopping short of using racial terms, but they've always been around. I mean, they're just now being caught on camera. Much like, it's hard to say it without saying it. It's much like police activity, racial activity. All the things that were done in the dark are coming in light now, and Karens are nothing different, man. They're just being caught on camera. So it is what it is, brother. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was sitting here thinking about it when you brought that up. Emmett Till's accuser, Carolyn Bryant, she was a Karen back in the day.
Yes, sir. The Karen,
pretty much. She was an original Karen, and she snitched on him and lied, and he ended up losing his life. What do you think about it, Charles?
Well, I think you touched on it, man. It's a very dangerous situation, particularly for minorities, when people, use and weaponize 911. It's a tough situation. It puts us in a very bad spot because you're talking about we already have a dicey relationship as it is with law enforcement in this country, and now you have a situation where you have a false accuser that is coming to the forefront. Keep in mind, George Zimmerman was sort of a Ken, and it led to the death of Trayvon Martin. So it's something that is, to me, we as a country, the country itself needs to do more to discourage this type of behavior because it doesn't always end well for us. Luckily in many of the scenarios that we're discussing, these behaviors were caught on camera. But what about those over-aggressive police officers that are quick to make false assumptions and believe some of these individuals? And those are the things that concern me, particularly as it relates to Black men, Black women, our kids growing up. It's just all very concerning to me.
So by you saying that, Wayne, do you think there should be some laws that are passed to stop these Karen and Kens from acting out?
I mean, I think, I don't know. I think they need to be a little tougher on some certain things. I mean, there's already laws about false accusations, right? So that's already kind of illegal. But they have to enforce that stuff, that people can't feel comfortable that they could just go and wild out and then, the police come and do something or not do anything and they get off scot-free. I mean, they got to know someone's got to get locked up for it. Someone's got to feel it with a fine, something. But the laws are there. It's just, I think they got to do something about it, enforce them somehow.
Yeah. What do you think, Mike? How can we get around this?
Steph, I've been listening to the fellows talking. I think there has to be consequences and repercussions, plain and simple. I know we talk about it all the time, but I think people are just letting their true self shine. And and in the process, There's some people getting hurt in the process, emotionally, physically. You've seen all these little memes and Instagram. Everybody's laughing. Some people are taken back by it, but it's serious. And for me, all I can say is keep your cell phone charged. Keep your cell phone charged so you can record, have recorded evidence to protect yourself. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to entertain it. I'm going to record what I can, and if the person stops me from leaving or doing something crazy, then I'll call the cops. But other than that, I'm going to record it, to cover myself. It goes both ways. They can record, people doing bad things, but also it goes both ways to record somebody so you can protect yourself. And that's how I feel about it. I think once the camera comes out, that's almost like putting up a shield. They're either going to put up or shut up.
Yeah, thinking about, it's really not a Karen Ken situation, but Philandro Castile, that was a Facebook Live situation. And, and he was clear saying, hey, I have a weapon. I'm licensed to carry. Luckily, Facebook Live was able to capture all that. Unfortunately, the guy was never prosecuted. He wasn't prosecuted, was he? The cop.
I'm not even sure. You got to research that.
Yeah.
All I know is that what I saw
Right.
was somebody that was scared, that had a gun, that was scared. First of all, that's the most dangerous thing, to be scared and holding a pistol on somebody.
Yes.
With the safety off. You understand? Yes. And I think that if my man was in position like you're supposed to be, I don't know if y'all saw that the young lady who was the deputy / and she was a customs officer, she got pulled over and she had almost a 20-minute Instagram feed about what you need to do and how dangerous things could have changed or been differently. You guys have to look at that, because it was very informative to me of where police officers should stand, and when they're angry, and the tone of voice and how to handle stuff. The best bet is for you to live another day and de-escalate. Let them say what they got to say, get their ticket, keep it moving. Because like she said, when she got pulled over and the guy had an attitude, even though she had a uniform on and she had some things to say that were constructive, he tried to be destructive, and it could have went either way. So my thing is that you just have to be careful about what you say, what you do. And like you said, if you're in the right, you keep that cell phone on, protect yourself, and then you go from there.
Hey, I just want to jump in real quick. This is Chuck.
Go ahead, Chuck.
We were talking about Philandro Castile, and just for clarification's sake, the officer's name in question was Geronimo Yanez. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Again, his name was Geronimo Yanez, and he was charged with manslaughter. But as we fear all too often, he was acquitted. So, just point of reference.
And that doesn't help in the city of Minneapolis, because after that following George Floyd. So we've got an issue.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, switching subjects, let's talk about sports. Pandemic basically shut sports down in March. March Madness didn't happen. Half of the basketball season initially stopped, NBA specifically. Major League Baseball didn't start in the beginning of April. I mean, a lot of things changed. Even golf shut down, and we didn't have, we're not going to have the Masters until November, which traditionally is in April. So, Wayne, what do you think about the impact that this pandemic has had, not only with sports, live sports, but with the media and the money that the media makes, as well as the owners?
It's huge. It's huge. Absolutely. So today, as we're recording this, it's August the 16th. And so the NBA restart in the bubble has just finished what they had their eight game play-in series. And so the playoffs, I think, start on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, beginning of the week. So, I mean, it's a huge impact. So think about it. You got a bubble where you have all your teams in one place. There's multiple courts, but it's just, everyone's consolidate in one place. But you got to think about all these arenas around the country where they're going to be playing NBA games and then also playoff games. There's going to be no ticket sales. There's going to be no concessions. There'll be no merchandise. There'll be no parking. There'll be all these people, all these jobs that are lost from these people who do these things. And there's revenue not coming into the owners, right? So that's how they came up with an idea, like they're trying to do in all the other sports. Hey, let's find a way so we can get some money. So like the only money that I can see that they're getting, maybe there's more, But the only thing I can see is TV revenue.
Right.
Right, because they're
That's it.
still broadcasting and whatever that brings in. So I think hockey's doing something similar to what the NBA is doing, and I think they're being somewhat successful. Major League Baseball is having some challenges because they're still traveling. You know, they're doing the best they can, but it's not as easy. And they're saying that that football is going to start. Personally, I don't see how they're going to do it. So, but they seem to have a plan. I think it's September 1 or something like that.
Mhm.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see.
That's what they said.
Yeah, so we're talking about 2 weeks out. They're talking about starting in NFL, no preseason, then just go straight into it. I don't know. I don't know how well it's going to work. But yeah, it's a big deal. A lot of money's being lost. The economy's crazy. I mean, all these people are out of jobs. It's tough.
Well, thinking about that, Charles, when it comes to college sports, a lot of the Pac-12, the Big 12, a lot of them have already said, hey, we're not going to play. What do you think about the impact with that, with the student athlete trying to move to the next level, as well as the revenue that is generated from fall sports, specifically your SEC who says they're going to play and ACC who says they're going to play? What do you think about the impact of that?
I mean, it's catastrophic, man. I mean, it's just a rough situation, especially for those student athletes who are trying to make a name for themselves, who have pro potential to go to the next level. You're talking about an entire season that is lost. So the question is, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with the high school seniors that are trying to get to that next level, or again, the college players that are trying to go pro? You're going to have this huge backlog of talent. So I think the only thing that they can do is just have a red shirt situation where the folks that perhaps had the opportunity to go to the next level, and if they still want to showcase their talent, maybe they should be given the opportunity to do so again next year, because there are many players at the college level who continue to play post-graduation. I mean, it's not something that is well known, but you have graduate students that play. You have people that, again, that were in a red shirt situation that have the ability to do so as well. But again, it's just a tremendous impact, man. I mean, it's across the board. I don't know how this mess is going to shape itself out, but there are a lot of smart people that are looking into these things, and hopefully there's some viable solutions that help these student athletes out.
Hey, Steph, could I say something real quick? So to piggyback on what Charles just saying, we were just talking about all this lost money. If you look at some of these major football programs, for example, for college sports, they're in small towns. And a lot of their towns, these towns swell up on those Saturdays just for those games. So, you got your hotels, you got your restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
All of that stuff. They're not making no money. There's no money.
Yeah, first thing I think of is Auburn, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing there but the university, and it's huge.
That's right.
Notre Dame, South Bend. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
In those cities, those towns, and not even cities, they swell on just those weekends. They count on that revenue.
Yeah.
So now your little hot dog stand, which you were killing it the last few years, you ain't making nothing. And then, I mean, sorry, I don't mean to monopolize this, but also think about there's some schools where students aren't really even coming back. So now all that stuff that the students used to do, just the bars and the little burger joints and stuff like that, if your enrollment is cut in half or less, your numbers change.
Mm-hmm.
And see, and Mike, you grew up in New Haven, where Yale University was. Now, I'm not sure if sports were big, but just the amount of students at Yale, you think there would be a huge impact?
I think so, because like you guys are talking about, Yale University, the students supplement a lot of the stores, the restaurants, and everything that has to do with it. I mean, dentists, even something as far as dentists, doctors, whatever. Even though Yale has their own health plan, people need dental and other stuff. It is definitely going to be a major hit if a lot of these kids are not coming back and they're not patronizing because they're afraid to go somewhere and they're ordering in or doing whatever. So everybody's being affected by it. All these small towns are going to be affected when the big schools play, like when Yale plays Harvard. You can't even move. Just for instance, with the check-in, the day when you check in to college, the first day of school where everybody's bringing their stuff back, you can't even move. They have to shut down half the area around Yale University. That's not going to happen now because it's going to be staggered. And I'm sure that all the restaurants and the different stores are going to feel it. So everybody's being affected.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what do you think, Chuck? Will we get to a point where we'll get back to sports? It may never be the same, but do you think we'll get there?
Yeah, sports is big business in this country. Those owners are going to make sure that if nothing else, they're going to make sure that their pockets are secure. So they're going to do everything they can to get us back to where we need to be. Or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say us, but them. How soon is that going to be? Who knows? Is it going to resemble the same program that we had prior to COVID? Who knows? I don't think so. Hopefully they'll, new measures, we need to learn from our mistakes. But yeah, the NBA, all the sports franchises, I mean, they're doing what they can, but they're still businesses. I like any other business, I would hope that they would, do everything they can to ensure the safety of their employees. But can you really during a pandemic? I don't know, man. I've been going back and forth with this whole thing, man, and I don't even know why they're trying. At one point I was kind of, hey, let's try, because I'm a sports fan. But if you can't do it safety, if you can't ensure the safety of your players or the the coaching staff, the team, of course the any patrons that may come, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So I don't know, man. I'm still I appreciate a good college try, man, but I don't know, man. I'm still kind of out there. I'm still on the fence.
Sure, I understand. So go ahead, Charles.
No, I absolutely think that you have to put public safety first, but the NFL is moving forward with their season.
Yes, sir.
I know I'm in the minority. When I say that, a lot of people disagree with me, but football is king in this country. The NFL, they own a day of the week.
Mhm.
And,
They do. They do.
And they're moving forward. They've had the luxury of being able to sit back and watch every other sports league operate within this pandemic. So they understand the do's, the don'ts, what's worked well, what hasn't. They've been able to watch the the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, and learn from, the mistakes that they've made. And I think if you're able to move players from one sterile environment to another, then I think you'll have an opportunity to have a successful season. So I personally think the NFL is definitely moving forward.
So,
Go ahead, Mike.
yeah, Mike.
Yeah, what I would like to say is I'm a football fan and, I love the game, but I want to know how the hell they going to call the play in the huddle? Like, were they going to shout it out? Were they going to do sign language? What the hell are they going to do? I mean, are they going to invest in telecommunications in everybody's helmet? Because that's the only thing I'm thinking. They're going to put like a little earpiece in everybody's helmet and call the play or something. I don't know.
Modified face shield.
I just keep reading. Huh?
I was being funny. I said modified face shields. Who knows?
The players have to be tested, man. So you have to know that these players are clean when they're interacting and playing against one another.
That's just the point now, because they're talking about being asymptomatic and stuff like that.
I think they.
Hey, Mike.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No. I'm saying for me, I'm just saying they're gonna have to get a whole new route as far as these guys are gonna have to memorize everything. They're gonna have to. They may put a play down as number 1 through 8, 1 through 12. We're gonna do number 12. All right, number 12, break. I don't know. That's the easiest way I can see it. To yell number 12 and everybody can come from the huddle, because I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm just interested in seeing how this is gonna play out.
So if I could just say, I'm sorry, Steph.
Yeah, I was going to say to include audibles. And I guess the quarterback's not going to call it audible. Go ahead, Wayne.
The whole thing is going to be a damn audible.
Pineapples. Check pineapples.
Omaha. No. What I'm saying is,
pineapple.
what I'm saying is, I think it's going to be a lot harder, Right. I hear what Charles is saying about the different test studies of all the other areas. But, I think it was you, Steph, that called out the number of people that are on a football team.
Yes.
Just the sheer numbers that you're moving around from place to place.
Yes.
Right.
You can't put them in a bubble, so you have to move them around somehow. That's just, that's going to be crazy. I
Yeah.
just think that's gonna be crazy.
You got 53 people on an NFL roster on one team,
That's
plus
right.
at least 100 staff, coaches, trainers,
A
things
lot
of
of
that
people to
nature.
move. A lot of people to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, the team bus is out.
Right.
I mean, come on, what you gonna do, man?
Yeah, and it's going to
They
really
come
be a
in by
challenge.
parachute.
They're gonna give everybody gas money.
Yeah, it's really going to be a challenge when it comes to, we're not set up in this country to have a bubble for football. I mean, it's almost impossible. Maybe Texas.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 70,000 people in one spot. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Well,
Right.
they've already announced in DC, for example, that the 2020-21 season will be held without fans. I'm not sure how many other cities are following suit, but that's what's happening here in the nation's capital now. If other cities decide to go that route, then again, it's plausible that you can have a season. Fans aren't interacting with the players anyway. You know what I mean? So they don't necessarily worry about that particular piece. Of course, public safety is an issue. You're going to have to modify concessions. Even the way people go in and out of the bathrooms, you're going to have some process to care for that for the cities that do allow fans. But as far as the player situation, they're already setting things up to keep these guys sort of isolated from the general population. I believe one player recently, I don't know if it was the NFL or the NBA, but he actually got cut from his team because he was trying to sneak some Instagram model into his room, and he got caught. Yeah, because they're trying to maintain separation, of course, between the players and the general public. This knucklehead decides that he wants to jeopardize his career, over some booty, and he
jeopardized the whole team.
He jeopardized the entire team. So rightfully so, he got cut. So I think they're using this guy as an example of what not to do, because again, the NFL is not going to play with their money. Trust. There will be a season.
Yeah, he was an unrestricted free agent. Oh, I'm sorry, undrafted guy. And he got cut immediately, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, the smart person there would have been the Instagram model, because she would have got paid if something had popped off and she got something. Guess what? She would have got hit everybody up.
Oh, no doubt.
She would have hit the doorman, the parking lot attendant, everybody. Whoever let her through, they all would have got hit.
Yeah.
So guess what? Yeah, he need to get cut. I don't like nobody losing their job, but when you jeopardize thousands of people, man, come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, well, we're going to move on. This is something that's near and dear to almost everyone in this telecast heart, and it's no in-school learning. And who better to lead it off with than Mike with young elementary school, middle school kids? Mike, go ahead.
Man, listen, hold on. Where my drink at? I need my drink. All right, we're gonna talk about the growing. This is called the growing pain curriculum. All right, I say it's growing pain because the issues are growing and it's a pain in my ass. Okay, that's why I call it the growing pain curriculum. It's very tough. All right, you're dealing with tweeners in the house. Like Charles said, they eat up every goddamn thing. Excuse me, Lord. They eating up everything in the house. The chores. Everything you got to incorporate. Exercise. It's a lot. It's really a lot. And I give respect to all the parents, male, female, single parent, single dad, single mom, big mama, everybody, TT, everybody. If you're trying to school the kids at home, and especially if they're not cooperating, that's even worse. But thank goodness I got a good set of kids that are cooperating, even though they don't want to do it, they know it has to be done. But just the routine, man, getting them up on time. I think the key, I can tell anybody, I'm not an expert, but I can say that structure is the key. Keep the structure. If you waver off, they will take advantage of it. All right? And a famous man and a famous friend of mine once, quoted to the non-bill payers, my man Charlie Rock, aka Chaz, aka left with one rib and some sauce. He just said that's a little inside joke there, folks. I'm sure Charles will tell you about it one day on the podcast. But no, it's tough. I mean, I love being home with my kids, but I think there comes a time where everybody needs their space and everything. So I think for anybody that's at home, just keep the structure. The schoolwork, keep the chores in place. Make time for the chores. Exercise. Now I'm a damn gym teacher. I got enough problems trying to get up out of bed and do my own damn exercise. Now I got to make sure everybody exercising. I got Mickey riding around the block 10 times because he afraid to go to another block. I hope you didn't hear that part. But yeah, he's riding around the block like 10 times on the bike. Rosie's outside with her soccer net. Keeping them busy, man. Learning as you go. But, not to be more, stay structured and do the best you can. Have patience. All right, even when they break stuff, and stuff like that. Try not to take it personally. Get a lot of Gorilla Glue, some duct tape. And duct tape works on anything. It works on china, silverware. I have some silverware. I put duct tape on anyway. Even though you don't need duct tape. Don't need, just child-proof your stuff. But anyway, yeah, it's very tough, and I think that it can work, but you just need a lot of focus and everything else. But I also like to hand this over to my man. The person that coined the phrase non-bill players, Charles, because I'm sure he has a lot to say. Charlie Rock, what do you got to say about being at home with homeschool?
Actually, you know what? It's a challenging situation, and you touched on it as well. You're talking about, even things like office supplies. I'm literally going to Staples every other week because I'm running out of ink for my printer, all types of stuff. That was happening last year. The food consumption is off the chain. I have 4 non-bill payers in my house. I have a college student, I have a high school senior, and I have 2 middle schoolers, my twins. So they consume a lot of food, bro. That alone is just off the chain. But in addition to that, again, just having everyone in the house. I'm working from home. The wife trying to work from home. The kids and their schedules, man. It's really a tough situation. But the thing that I really, the one individual in my household that I feel sorry for is my daughter, who's going to high school. This is her senior year. Okay, she was extremely excited about being a senior. She's had to sit back and watch the kings and the queens of the school rule at the senior level ever since she was, she entered high school, and she was so looking forward to that opportunity to, go to homecoming as a senior, the dances, not to mention she's a student athlete. She's a cheerleader, things of that nature. She's not going to be able to participate in any of those activities. So when it was first announced that they were going to do the distance learning thing in this area, at least through February, let me tell you, she was devastated. Her friends, they literally were bawling all day. They were crying. They were that upset over the fact that they were. Yeah, it is a big deal. So she won't be able to have that experience. So I'm really feeling sorry for her. Now, my boys, everybody else is cool, but with her, that's a rough situation for sure.
Yeah, and she's real socially active, so yeah, I'm sure that's a huge impact to her. Chuck, what you got going on with the schools?
You know what, my my son, I love him, Lord, I love him. I'm sorry, I got to say it one more time, Lord, I love my son. All right. Look, I say that my son is an absolutely fantastic kid, man. But my son is a gamer. He is a STEM kid. He's deep into computers and things like that. So I don't want to say he's a loner. It's just that because he's into his games, he does a lot of stuff online, and so he's interactive with his friends online. And I guess kind of during this COVID-19, it's been okay. I would still like him to get out more often. Because of this during this COVID, I've become a walker, so to speak. So I've gotten reacquainted with my younger self, and I'm getting out and I'm enjoying nature and all that. And my son, unbeknownst to me, has been going out. He's been walking, and he's been getting some, exercise and stuff like that. He's kind of got that,
That's good.
I'd like to say he's got his dad's walking gene or whatever. So he and I are going to start, doing some hiking and things like that. Um, but in terms of school, this is, you know, this was actually well, I don't want to say devastating for him as well, but this was supposed to be his show out year. My son has been working very hard for the last couple of years to get a scholarship, a music scholarship. So, and one of the things that he really wanted to do was he wanted to be in an HBCU marching band. We discussed that, and so this year in high school, he was supposed to be in marching band, and he was doing some other extracurricular things in terms of band to get noticed and to put on his resume for these colleges. And everything is on hold. There's summer programs and things like that that obviously he couldn't attend because those were shut down. Those are things that are supposed to go into his bio, if you will. So it's a lot. Like Charles said, this is coming into his senior year. This is supposed to be his breakout year, and he was talking about stuff like senior skip day, all the things that we did when we were in high school. They missed out
No,
on that stuff.
no, we
So
didn't do that.
oh no, you're right, we didn't. So
Yeah.
yeah, but but one of the things, and you touched on it also, they go from being freshmen to junior, and they're they were the underdogs, and now they got a chance to be the top dog, and they're not, and they go straight from, if they go to college now, they go straight to the bottom of the totem pole again, and they never really get to experience that. So I feel bad for them in that respect. But obviously we know each other, and I know your children, and I know Charles's daughter, and I know how exceptional she is. All of our kids, they're gonna pull through this, and they've got us for leadership and guidance. Um, but that's it, man. We're gonna get our kids through this. They're gonna be absolutely fantastic. They're gonna be the leaders that we've raised them to be. Sure, sad now, but in a few years, we're all gonna look back, and we're gonna smile and rejoice at the fantastic, wonderful kids that this COVID-19 has helped in some way to shape our future kids. We're gonna be all right, man. Our kids are gonna be all right, man. It sucks they have to go through it, but
Yeah,
well,
go
we're
ahead,
all
Mike.
going to get through
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I would just like to add for all the parents who are trying to retain their snack prevention. I'm here to start my own snack prevention, campaign. So I came up with these new camouflage type pillowcases that you can hide your snacks. I got one shaped like the laundry basket. The kids don't touch that. So
Yes, sir.
I got the laundry basket camouflage. You can put all your snacks and cover it with a laundry basket camouflage. They will not touch it. I know for a fact. I tried it. I left it out in the middle of the kitchen. Everybody walk by dog shit. I mean dog stuff. My bad. My bad.
Am I the only one that can go
I
shopping
ain't mean to
on
say
a
that, but
Monday?
anyway.
Am I the only one that can go shopping on a Monday, fill up the entire refrigerator with juice, stuff you're not even supposed to be eating anyway, and then on Tuesday be like, where the hell's all the food?
Bruh. I think
Listen.
I need like a toll booth on my kitchen, bro. That's what I need, because
Man.
every single night, I swear, after midnight, between midnight and like 3 a.m, all I'm hearing is traffic going to and from my kitchen, man.
Right.
It's just constant. It's just nonstop, man.
Well, at least you hear it. Look,
Non-bill payer express. I'm telling you.
man, I mean, I don't hear shuffling. I don't hear slippers.
What
I
I
don't hear
found out-
nothing.
Hey, what I'm thinking about, people talking about, well, I'm thirsty, but they say they thirsty, but they go to the kitchen and next thing you know, they popping Cheez-Its. I'm like, hold up. I thought you said you was thirsty. Well, I am, but I'm gonna grab some Cheez-Its. So what I'm gonna do is get a water fountain. I'm gonna put it right in the hallway, blocking the kitchen. So I'm saying, you thirsty, drink your damn water and go to bed. Take your ass to bed. Drink your water,
There
go
you
to
go.
bed. Just like my grandfather used to do. You know what I mean?
It's called boredom. That's what they're doing. They eat because
Absolutely.
they're bored.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
bored
Wayne.
eating, it's starting to cause.
Go ahead, Wayne.
I was just gonna say that I have a high school senior as well, like Charles and Charles's daughter and Chuck's son, as well as Mike's son. So when the word came out that there wasn't going to be school, his reaction was a little bit different. He, this is that dude. This is that dude that's trying to get by. Like, what do I need to do to get by? So that's the dude I got. And
Just to get by, just to get by, just to get by.
tell
That's
you.
the man right there.
That's my dude. So
Yeah.
So I mean, so I was probably more upset than him, like his senior homecoming and graduation stuff and prom and all that stuff, stuff that I thought would be kind of cool. And he didn't really participate in a lot of that as a freshman, sophomore, junior. But I don't think he really even cares that much, But I'll tell you what, though, the way that the curriculum went at the end of last year, it, for someone who wasn't working real hard, they made it easy. So it's
Hey,
crazy.
look, man. Hey, look, the way they've kind of changed up the grading system. So I guess towards the end of the year, pretty much they changed it to pass fail. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
hey, look, man. So the dudes that were skipping school, there were. I mean, for real, you get a participation trophy. Everybody, all you had to do is show up and sign your name. That's it. All you had to do.
What?
So
Yeah,
That's the bull jiggity.
real talk right there. So I'm just saying, I mean, as opposed as a complete opposite of Charles's daughter and her being upset about her senior year, I think he would have liked to go there to be a little bit social, but the fact that it's not going on, he's good.
Well, I tell you, to close out this conversation, I've got another viewpoint, and that's of the teacher, guidance counselor, or administrator.
You're looking at it.
Well,
You're looking at him, Steph.
yes and no. No. This is a personal story. So yesterday I went down.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yesterday I went down to mom's house, and my mother's been in the school system since 1970, 71.
all right.
And Prince George's County school system. She retired formally in the 90s, but she went back as a part-time guidance counselor, and she's been working there at her alma mater, her high school alma mater, for probably the last 30 some odd years. Anyway, as a part-time guidance counselor, she was interacting with the kids about 2 to 3 times a week, doing international baccalaureate administration programs, as well as other types of programs. And the thing is, she just loved being around kids. But now that you have distant learning, she really can't be around the kids. And the technology, she's 77 going on 78. She's not as technology inclined as a younger teacher. So she told me and my wife yesterday, hey, I'm retiring. I'm done. Because this online distant learning, distant guidance counseling is too much. It is too much.
But
Now,
Bill, you know you're supposed to be putting your mother's age out there. I'm just saying.
hey, I'm proud that she's that age.
I
Honestly.
was gonna call you a liar myself. I was gonna say your mom ain't 70 years old.
Yeah.
I've never known you to be a liar, so I'll take your word.
Right
For it.
now, she's 77, but she'll be 78 in November. But she said,
So
hey,
you did lie.
yeah. but the bottom line is, now you've got teachers that are having to make hard decisions. You got teachers down in Georgia that have to make hard decisions. Do I work or do I protect my health? And people being forced in Florida. We've got families around here I watch on Facebook up in arms to the fact that the kids aren't going to school. Okay, so would you rather send them to a human petri dish in a classroom?
Right.
It's just amazing what this virus has done and the impact that it's had, not only on parents but the students, as well as even administration and counselors. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, just thinking about it now. If you have school-age children and they're talking about sending your kids back to school, how do you feel about that, Mike?
You have a choice. I guess you can. I guess it's a 50-50 thing. For me, I'm so used to them being at home. They could have stayed home, but they introduced a hybrid schedule where they'll be home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday to go to school. But nothing I can do about it. That's what they came up with. But my thing is that the work has to get done regardless. I think they're doing it on their behalf so they can probably get some of this federal aid that they're probably going to get from whoever, from the government.
Okay.
Because I don't think I think there's some type of stipulation for them to push that hard to get kids back into school, even though it's an issue. Because you saw the situation in Georgia with the young lady who recorded that hallway. That hallway was bananas. That was worse than the subway in New York.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they got 9 cases of COVID down after that. So I mean, you got to be careful. And trust me, if they say we can't do it, and they got to stay home. I'm good with that. I'm good with that because we've been doing it this far. I think they have to do something. I think it's based on something because the push is there. So I don't know what it is, but they have to go. So they got to go 2 days a week. The rest of the week they're home, and we'll deal with it. We'll see where it goes.
And and I just thought about something, Chuck. Chuck. Charles, you got kids that are in private school. Have they reduced the cost because of online earning or learning, or is it still the same?
Believe it or not, they did. They did reduce the tuition as they should. Yes. We just received notification of that just this past week. And I think it's a great thing. Obviously, they're going to be distance learning for quite some time, and I think they did the right thing by reducing the tuition. But as far as to answer Chuck's question about going back, I think you have to err in favor of caution. The reason the United States is in the position that it's in is because of community spread. Folks are not doing the right thing. This virus has been going crazy when other countries have gotten control over their situation. We haven't, because we continue to run amok, do our own thing. We want to hang out, be social. The kids are having parties to catch the daggone corona.
Right.
It's just stupid, man. It's a bunch of stupidity that is taking place in this country. So, what needs to happen from a leadership perspective is that everything needs to be shut down. Period. At least for a period of a couple of weeks. Require folks, if you have to go out, to wear masks. Don't even make it optional. And if you take these common sense type measures like other countries have taken, we would be able to take complete control and reduce our numbers. But right now, again, it's crazy. I just had the opportunity. Well, it wasn't really an opportunity. I had to travel to Florida to take care of a personal family matter. And I went down there, and let me tell you, they are running things completely different than some of the northern states. For example, they didn't even shut down their summer school programs, or their summer camp programs, I should say, until very late in the summer. You're talking about almost August, or the first week in August is when they decided to start shutting them down. And so when you look at their numbers as far as how they've had a significant increase in coronavirus cases, it stands to reason. You have a governor that is just taking his orders, I guess his marching orders from the White House, deciding that he's not going to require folks to wear masks out in public, things of that nature. You're not shutting down summer camp programs. So the numbers are what they are. So there needs
For the listeners, I'm sorry, for the listeners, that's Governor Ron DeSantis, just for the listeners' sake, in Florida.
Yeah. So, we just need to do better in general. So the bottom line, to answer the question that was on the table, my vote would be to err in favor of caution. Keep these kids home, man. Just, if you have the ability to educate them online, educate them online. Now, realize that there's still this major divide in terms of the haves and the have-nots. You still have a significant number of people in this country that don't have access to computers and the internet and things of that nature. So that's the thing of most concern. So I'm sorry?
That free lunch and breakfast come in handy too.
Yeah. So, that's if America wants to stand up from a leadership perspective, that's where the investment needs to be. Let's bridge that gap. Let's make sure those folks are safe. They can safely educate their kids.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this thing is getting serious. It's gonna be it's playing more and more toward the sci-fi. I know Chuck's a sci-fi fan, but I got someone who goes to one of the local universities here, they got it to the point now where they got the COVID information locked into their ID. So if you don't get a COVID test, whether you're an administrator or a student, you cannot access any accessible buildings in the university.
Wow.
And this is in Connecticut.
Wow.
This is if you haven't gotten tested.
If you haven't got tested and got the okay and they hit that button on your ID, you can't access the dorm, the lunchroom, the school store. You name
Good,
it.
good.
Yeah, I kind of support that.
Yeah.
That
Watching a
man.
video the other day, my wife and I want to say it was Japan. You know, the kids are still going to school over there. Man, look, if my kid had to go back to school, I wouldn't feel too bad with him going through the program that they have to go. I mean, it's monotonous. I mean, you go in. I mean, you're seeing them. They're spraying the kids in the backpacks, and they're taking their temperature. And of course, the kids have masks and all kinds of stuff. I mean, they're really pretty thorough. And then you flash to our schools and the minor steps that we've taken, pretty much wear a mask and come on to school. I mean, we're not doing enough here in this country. And having said that, my son is in high school. Not that that's better or worse than grade school, but I mean, I don't know. Homeschooling's not off the table for me. Yeah, it's a senior year. We're trying to get him into college and things like that. But, excuse me for being so graphic, but dead kids don't go to college.
Yeah, great point. Great point. Well, look, I want to move on real quick because we're running out of time. I want to talk about travel outside the U.S. As reported recently, the only place that U.S. citizens can travel and not be turned around is Mexico, Jamaica, and then I heard recently Aruba, but you got to go through a bunch of tests to get there. Now there's a plus side to this. Charles has another year to plan an extensive vacation somewhere so he can save his money. Because you know when the borders open, you going somewhere and you're going to like it. But anyway, what do you think about this, Charles?
Well, I love to travel, as you know, and this travel ban, the whole coronavirus situation, it sucks as it is. But really, when you look at it, the fact that the United States citizens are banned from traveling to at least 33 countries out there, maybe more, I think is just a sign of the times. It's a sign of the leadership that we have. And it really just tells you where our influence is as a country right now. It's just, we're a laughing stock when it comes to how we've managed through the coronavirus situation. So the fact that our citizens are, our U.S. passport don't mean anything right now, and we're banned from traveling, to so many countries. I just think it's a major black eye to our country, to our leadership, so on and so forth. But me, man, I love to travel this time of the year. I'm usually trying to get in, one last vacation, especially with the kids, to create some memories and allow them to experience other cultures and things of that nature. But the fact that we can't do it, then, hey, I think it's the right thing for so many reasons for other countries to not allow our citizens to travel to their country. We can't even control it here. We can't even control it from state to state.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely the right thing for us.
Well, Wayne, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was gonna say that the reason why they're treating us the way they are is because the Remember the Titans? Was attitude reflects leadership?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Their attitude towards us is because of our leadership.
No doubt.
Thank you very much.
Well, Wayne, since the Knicks had a long off season, what do you think about, traveling? Most of them can't travel, and neither can you outside the U.S.
Wow.
So I thought we were going to get through one episode without a Knicks reference, but I see that's not happening. But anyway.
Charles, we got over there some rum punch.
You can't go to islands, bring the islands to you.
Hey, there you go.
But so yes, the Knicks have plenty of time to plan their off season. That is true. But yeah, the ban is crazy. But like what everyone else is saying, it's the proper move. If every other country is kind of reducing, I think except for like Brazil, but if every other country is reducing, why would they bring our infected asses there?
Right.
Right? So,
Right.
so yeah, I get it. I mean, I like to travel too. I'd like to do some stuff too, but hey, this is what we've done.
And you know, Chuck, I was just thinking about the fact that you just sold your restaurant, you retired from the police force, and you've been working as long as I've known you, 35 years. Every time you look, Chuck's got a hustle in progress. Now this is your opportunity to grab Mama, and she could take her her computer and telework, and China if she so desired.
Right.
Has it impacted you tremendously?
Man, my wife ain't going nowhere. She is not going to spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours strapped in a tube, 400 feet up in the air and she could possibly get it. No, sir, not my wife.
Right.
And we've discussed, possibly taking, a weekend getaway or whatever, and we probably will, maybe cabin, something like that, something, an environment that we can kind of control. Um, but we've had some issues over here on my side, and so with the coronavirus being out there, and we can't take too many chances in my household.
Sure.
So yeah, so travel is kind of, it's touch and go for us right now. But I'll tell you what, man, I got to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I've been to Fort Lauderdale, about several times. It's a good trip, but it gets old. So I got to find someplace else to go, bro. I got to do something.
And closing us out, Mike, traveling outside the U.S. Your wife is from
Well,
Peru. Oh, and and she technically can't go home if she wanted to.
nah, we gonna she Peru. We gonna peruse that idea. That's a done deal, brother. Because she know I got asthmas, I got bronchitis, I got sugars. I
You
got
got the
sugars.
sugars.
I got sugars. I said, I tell my nana used to be diabetes. She said, whatever it is, I got the sugars. So I got the sugars too. So I gotta be
Hey,
very
take some
careful.
Robitussin.
What we do. Huh?
Just rub some Robitussin on
What
it.
you say? Oh yeah, we'll rub it on everything, But the thing about it is, you can't rub no tussin on no damn COVID.
Yeah,
You can't do
right.
that.
You're right.
They ain't
Now,
gonna work. They ain't gonna work.
I
So
keep
guess
telling people
what?
hey, for COVID, you need the brown Listerine. Brown Listerine kills everything. I don't care what anybody says.
You said brown
Well, you
Listerine.
gonna drink it?
Yeah, you never had a
Listen,
brown
unless you're
Listerine?
gonna
You
swallow.
put that brown Listerine in your mouth,
Listen,
son.
unless you gonna.
That brown
No,
Listerine
no.
will clean your life.
Listen, unless that's gonna go down your throat and dance in your lungs, you can forget about it, brother.
Suck on that
I
brown
ain't gonna.
Listerine. Let's have this conversation tomorrow. I'm telling you, that brown
If
Listerine is lethal, brother.
Hey, if
That
I'm gonna
brown
put anything
Listerine will
brown,
strip the paint off inside of your house, boy.
if I'm gonna put anything brown in my mouth, it's gonna be Hennessy. Okay, and that's
I
it.
figure that's where you
That's
go.
the
But
only
yes,
thing I
sir.
got.
I understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
well, I'm glad you thought I was going that way. I don't know where else you thought I was going. I found love on a two-way street.
Well, I tell you, we're going to wrap this up. And what we'll do is leave the mic open for anyone that wants to drop the mic. If anybody has any parting words that they want to shout out real quick in our section called Drop the Mic. So, Wayne, anything?
Well, I'll go real quick. I just want to keep continuing to have people focus on the vote. I think in the last week, there's been some changes to the Democratic ticket, like it or not like it, but that's what we got. And so I think people need to just make sure they're registered, that they get out there and be part of this process. Got to do whatever we can do to do, we got to be a part of the process. Mic drop.
Yes, sir. Mike, drop the mic.
Yeah, I would like to send a shout out to Ephraim. He's a kid that is on DoorDash. Yeah, we're going to adopt Ephraim because he's been over here at least 365 times. That qualifies for adoption. So Ephraim, when you're done if you're hearing this, shout out, just come see me later, man. We're going to sign the papers, man. Welcome to the family. Love you, brother. DoorDash for life.
Chuck, drop the mic.
Yeah, hey man, this is for vote. That's all I got to say, man. I was going to go into this long diatribe about this. Look, it's just simple. We are in the fight of our lives. Doesn't matter if you're black, white. I don't care who you vote for, but you need to engage in the process. You need to get out there.
Right.
That's it. We're in the fight of our lives, and we have two choices. You either live or you die by this vote. It's that simple. People are dying. COVID-19. The response could have been better. Should have been better. We got to take care of ourselves now because the people that are supposed to be looking out for us aren't looking out for us. All right. And when you vote, it doesn't stop there. Demand something for your vote. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter who you vote for. Make sure your vote works for you, though. After you vote, whoever you vote for, if your party wins or whatever, hold their feet to the fire. Engage with your political representatives, and you hold their feet to the fire. Your vote costs. And so that's it. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does.
Appreciate it, Chuck. Charles, drop the mic.
Facts.
I would just ditto what has already been talked about as far as the voting process. Keep in mind, the only other thing that I would add is the fact that there's a lot of news, a lot of shenanigans taking place, particularly as it relates to the mail-in voting process. And it really doesn't take much to educate yourself on that particular process. Just find out where you can drop off mail-in ballots, for example. I took the liberty of researching that information for my entire family in the state of Maryland. I sent them a list of exactly where they can drop off their voting ballots. So don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get caught up in all this information that you hear out there, or misinformation, I should say, about the process. Participate in it. If you feel comfortable sending in a mail-in ballot, do it. If you don't feel comfortable, then drop it off personally, hand deliver it to a place that accepts the ballots in your particular area. Or if you're old school, like many of us are, and you're up for it, go stand in that line, sit inside that polling booth, and exercise your right. And that's it for me. Mic drop.
Appreciate that, Charles. Now, my drop the mic is a little different in the fact that we get caught up watching the news. We get caught up in social media. We may even get caught up in sports. Sometimes we just need to drop the phone, drop the remote, and drop everything else you're doing, and take a mental escape. My wife and I had a mental escape this week. We went out, we cleaned the garage. Without the phone, all we had was music. That was a beautiful thing. We got rid of a lot of stuff, and we were able to have dialogue and conversations on some of the stuff that we found in the garage. Now, this is, of course, through 30 years of military movement, things of that nature. But sometimes you just need to walk away. It ties to your mental health, and it allows you to breathe and think things differently without being caught up in the news cycle or the social media cycle or even the sports cycle. So my mic drop is sometimes you need to walk away for you and for those that you love. Mic drop. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our time today. If you'd like to follow our journey or podcast, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under Just Be a Man 2020. You can also find us on YouTube, as well as your favorite listening streaming services, which include Google Podcasts, Spotify, things of that nature, or, of course, Spreaker. So leave us a comment, suggestion, or request a future topic. We sign off with peace, understanding, and blessing for an outstanding rest of your day. Goodbye.
Deuces.